Okay, now we are going to start next part, that is aluminium. That is the most important. The mainly questions are asked from this part. So start making notes side by side of this section. It's very important. Aluminium. What is the symbol of aluminium? Symbol of aluminium is Al. Its atomic number is 13. Its mass number 27. Electronic configuration is 283. As you know, atomic number is 13. 2 plus 8, 10 plus 3, 13. So electronic configuration. What is the valency of aluminium? How it will become stable? It will lose these 3 electrons and it will acquire 3 positive charge. So valency is 3. Next one is group number and period number. Group number is decided by the valence electrons. So it belongs to 3 is there. You can write third A. Very simple. See the last electron and write group number. The next one is period number of aluminium. How many shells are there? K, L, N. 3 shells are there. So what is the period number? It is 3. This is the introduction of aluminium. Next one is ores of aluminium. Very important. There are 3 ores of aluminium. First one is bauxite. Second one is corundum. And third one is cryolite. All are very important. You have to learn their chemical formula and their chemical name. Its chemical formula is Al2O3 2H2O, aluminium, hydrated aluminium oxide. Cryolite, its formula is Na3Al(F6). And corundum, it is the anhydrous aluminium oxide. Anhydrous means there is no water molecule. So it is Al2O3. It's very important. And next one is, we will do extraction of aluminium. Extraction of aluminium means extraction of aluminium from its ore. So here we will do extraction of aluminium from bauxite only. Bauxite. First step. What was the first step? First step was grinding. Grinding means to change aluminium, the ore, bauxite into the powder form. Second step is concentration. Concentration of bauxite. In this step, bauxite is changed into alumina. Alumina means Al2O3 2H2O is changed into Al2O3 by removing the impurities. And the name of this process is most important. The concentration, it is done by Beer's process. Beer's process. So what is happening in this process? There are 3 steps further. There are 3 reactions in Beer's process. This process occurs in 3 steps. First of all, this aluminium, hydrated aluminium oxide, that is bauxite, is heated so that volatile impurities are removed. Volatile impurities such as gases, various gases, the impurities in the form of gases are removed. In this step, this aluminium oxide is reacted with sodium hydroxide and the temperature is 140 to 150 degree Celsius. When these two reacts, then sodium meta-aluminate is formed and water, and impurities will settle down. This will remain in the solution. So what is the next step? To filter out this solution, you will get NaAlO2. This is sodium meta-aluminate in the solution form. Then the most important thing is to balance the equation. Balance it. Without balancing, your equation is incorrect. So it is balanced now. Next step is, this is in the solution. We will take NaAlO2, sodium metaluminate, and we will dilute it. Dilute means we will add water into it and keep the temperature at 50 degree Celsius. Then what will happen? It will form NaOH, sodium hydroxide, and will give aluminum hydroxide in the form of precipitate. We always denote precipitate by downward arrow. So collect the precipitate, then further. Again, balancing is important. Do the balancing. Here is sodium 1, oxygen, when we put here 2, here 2, not here, sodium is 1 only, then aluminium, then afterwards it is balanced now. Next one is, collect these precipitate, aluminum hydroxide precipitate, aluminum hydroxide precipitate, and heat at 1000 degree Celsius. Then it will give you aluminum oxide and water. This is formed from bauxite. That was our step. In this process, aluminum bauxite is converted into aluminum oxide. So first these 3 steps are there. So balance it. First, not here. Hydrogen are 6, put here 3. Now it is balanced. So I am going to conclude it. In the first step, aluminum bauxite is reacted with sodium hydroxide and the sodium metaluminate is formed. Then sodium metaluminate is diluted, then you are getting sodium hydroxide and aluminum hydroxide. Then aluminum hydroxide is heated at temperature 1000 degrees Celsius, and then alumina is formed. Now further, now aluminum oxide is formed. Next step is to reduce this oxygen. Then only we will get aluminum. What was our topic? Topic was aluminum, extraction of aluminum. So aluminum oxide is there. So next one is how we can remove this oxygen so that we will get aluminum. And this aluminum oxide is very stable. It is not reduced by using reducing agent such as carbon, then other reducing agent carbon monoxide. It cannot be reduced. So to reduce this oxygen, to remove this oxygen, which process is used? The process is called electrolytic reduction, and the name of that process is Hall-Herold's process. It's also very important naming process. So in this process, it's very difficult to convert aluminum oxide into the molten form. To convert aluminum oxide into the molten form, in the melting form, it requires around 2000 to 2050 degree Celsius temperature. So what he has done, Hall-Herold, he has added 2 more substances. By the addition of these 2 more substances, the temperature, the melting point is reduced from 2050 to 950. So this all about is Hall-Herold's process. Hall-Herold's process. This is for reduction of aluminum oxide. So reduction of aluminum oxide. In Hall-Herold's, as I told you, he has added 2 more substances to decrease the melting point. Which were those 2 more substances? That is cryolite, another ore of aluminum, Na3Al(F6), and one more is there, calcium fluoride. Formula is CaF2. It is also called fluorspar. So in this process, electrolytic reduction, there is rectangular shape electrolytic cell, and carbon lining is there which will attach to the negative terminal of the battery, and there is a sloping surface. Sloping surface is used so that it is easy to collect aluminium at the bottom, and there is one hole so that we can collect aluminium from here, and this will attach to the negative terminal of the battery and it will act as cathode. And there is a anode. Anode is made of graphite. Graphite means made of carbons. These are anode. And what will be in the electrolyte? What will be electrolyte? It will be your aluminium oxide and two more substances, these two, and aluminium oxide also. These three are in the electrolyte. So as you have done in the electrolysis, we will do reaction at cathode and reaction at anode. So this cryolite, it will dissociate into which radicals? It will dissociate into Na positive plus Al3 positive plus F1 negative, 3 and 6. Next one is calcium fluoride. It will dissociate into calcium 2 positive and fluoride F1 negative. And one more compound is there in the electrolyte, that is Al2O3. It will dissociate into Al3 positive and O2 negative. Here is 2, 2 and 3. Means these radicals are present in the electrolyte. As you have done in electrolysis, selective discharge, which ion will discharge? This is attached to the positive terminal of the battery and anode. Which ion will move towards anode? Anode is positive, negative ions will move toward anode. So which are negative ion? Fluoride and oxide. So which will start moving toward anode? The position, here the position is matter in the electrochemical series. Position of oxygen is lower in the electrochemical series. So oxygen will discharge at anode. Anode reaction will be O2 negative plus it will lose 2 electron and will become stable oxygen, and another oxygen will combine with another oxygen, it will form O2. So what is the product at anode? Product is oxygen gas. Next one is reaction at cathode. Cathode is negative. So which are the positive ion? Here 3 positive ions are there. Again we will see in the metal activity series which has lower position in the metal activity series, that will discharge at cathode. So which is having lower position? Aluminium. Aluminium will discharge at cathode. So cathode is this one. It will discharge and collect at the bottom. Aluminium 3 positive. It will gain 3 electrons and will change into aluminium. So these electrons should be equal. Loss and gain should be equal. So what is done here when we put 6 electrons and not 6 electrons, 6 oxygen, and total how many electrons are required? 12, and there will be 6 oxygen and 3 oxygen. 3 oxygen will give 3 oxygen molecule. Here should also be 12. Loss and gain is equal 12. How we can make 12 here? When we put 4 3s are 12, and here is also 4. Okay, so what is the product at cathode? Aluminium will collected at the bottom, and product at anode. Product at anode is oxygen gas, means these are made of carbon. So when oxygen gas will start evolving at anode, what will happen? This carbon will combine with oxygen, then it will form carbon monoxide, and ultimately in the last it will form carbon dioxide. So these graphite rods are changing into carbon dioxide. There is burning of graphite rods. So there is need to replace these rods time to time. This is the reason. Very important question. Why there is need to replace graphite rod time to time? Because it starts burning, as the product at anode is oxygen gas. So to prevent the burning, what we have to do, what he has done, Hall Herold, what he has done to prevent the burning of this graphite rods, he has poured powdered coke on the surface. Powdered coke means carbon. Again, what will happen? Now these carbon particles, they will start reacting with the oxygen, so that we can save the graphite rods. So this is the function of a powdered coke. It prevents the burning of a carbon. Instead of reacting oxygen with the graphite rods, it will react with the powdered coke. It's easy to react with the powdered thing as compared to the solid one. So that is the function of powdered coke. Very important, these three substances, why these are added: cryolite, calcium fluoride and powdered coke. It's very important. And then the function of a cryolite is to reduce the temperature from melting point from 2050 to 950. Then what is the function of these two together? The function of these two, cryolite and fluorspar, is that they both act as a solvent, and they both increase the conductivity of aluminium oxide. This is non-conductor, aluminium oxide. So they increases the conductivity. Next one is, what is the function of powder coke? Already I have explained. The function is to prevent the burning of graphite rod, as well as it reduces the heat loss by radiation. This is all about reduction of aluminium. Now you can see aluminium is converted into aluminium oxide, is changed into aluminium. Then what will be the next step? The next step will be the refining of aluminium. That is not in our syllabus, so no need to do that one. And the uses of aluminium. Aluminium is used for constructing building, for making machinery tools, and for making cable wires, etc. It has many uses. So our next topic is alloys. Alloys. What is an alloy? Alloy is the homogeneous mixture of two or more metals, or one or more metal with the non-metal. That is the alloy. It is the mixture, homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture. You can say metals and non-metals, or metal or one or two or more metals. It is the mixture. Next one is, what is the reason of making alloy? Why there is need to prepare alloy? Alloy can change the appearance and shape. It can decrease the melting point. It can also increase the toughness and the strength of a metal. So these all are the reason for preparing alloy. Next one is, in your syllabus mainly there are 5 alloys. You have to do the composition and uses of those 5 alloys. Which are those? Duralumin. Next one is stainless steel. Then brass, bronze, and the last one is solder or fused metal. So here what you have to do, you have to learn the composition and uses. Composition and uses. So composition means by which this alloy is made of. by which metal or non-metal? So here it is aluminium, then copper, magnesium and manganese. Duralumin is composed of these four metals. Here aluminium percentage is 95. No need to learn percentage. Here copper 4%. This is 0.5. So what is the purpose of telling this percentage is that which is the major component of duralumin, which is major, we can give answer by seeing this percentage. So major component, usually in exam this question is asked, what is the major component of duralumin? Major component is, from the percentage you can tell, aluminium. Or next question is asked like, write the composition of duralumin or any other alloy. So the composition is aluminium, copper, magnesium and manganese. That much is enough. No need to learn percentage. But remember which is the major component. Then uses are also there. Learn it. So do this 5 alloys which are important one and uses from the given table. It is given in the last. So this is all about your chapter metallurgy. Please revise it and prepare your notes. Thank you.